in love with him. Quickly putting on his invisibility cap, he disappeared from prying eyes and quickly rushed home. When he was at home, the kind girl took the initiative to quickly treat the fighter's wounds. She, of course, will not be able to hold him if this happens again, but she warns that she will not help him with his wounds every time. Loaf hugs the girl and promises that he will try to prevent this from happening again. But suddenly the phone rings. The girl defiantly turns away and says that she is not going to disturb him anymore. A friend calls him and asks if he's busy to invite Baton to his dojo. He defiantly shouts that he is busy, but silently warns that he will sort things out and come. He wonders why his friend wished him luck and whether he continues to make his jokes or not. Robin is up to something and is glad that Baton agreed to the offer and will come to his dojo. The guy notices two old men jostling in the aisle who are clearly not happy to see each other in the same room. Two head coaches are swearing at each other. They both showed up for the same reason and do not want to see the second one nearby. Both attack the seventh brother most likely. They are tired of waiting for Baton because the guy says that he himself has business with him. The head judo coach gets angry, asking the guy not to clown around and, since he came earlier, to help. The guy says that he doesn't know when the hero will be free, and if the trainers are ready to wait for him, then let them stay with him. The old men agreed to wait, but they continue to swear and argue because they continue to be sarcastic to each other. The fighters train with the Iron God and are excited to receive practice from a fighter they admire. But Baton refuses, because he also has his own business and there is no need to rush so much. He enters the room and asks the seventh brother why he was looking for him. Robin introduces the hero to the two head coaches of the national team, which makes him a little worried. Leader Xiao approaches the guy and touches his shoulders, saying how powerful he is. Immediately, the old man is pushed away by the leader Wilson, beginning to praise Baton in his own way. The guy, in a very awkward position, starts joking with his brother about whether the trainers are selling people. Otherwise, they behave very strangely. Leader Xiao turns to the main character and with a smile on his face invites him to his judo team. But Leader Wilson pulls the blanket over himself, inviting Baton to the wrestling team. The student is very excited. He cannot even realize that he has the opportunity to play for the country. This is strange for him, because he's not even listed among the official athletes. Is it possible to get into the national team so easily? This is difficult for an ordinary person, but Baton has natural talent, ability, and success in battle. Mr. Xiao tries to dissuade him from choosing wrestling, saying that there was a rumor about the exclusion of this sport from the Olympic Games. Wilson gets angry and asks not to listen to this. Yes, they said it, but in the end, they didn't remove it. They continue to argue with each other, but it's about whether there will be wrestling at the Olympics. Mr. Xiao tries to win Baton over by saying that he can participate in several seasons of the Olympics, and should choose judo. Mr. Wilson argued with this, but the other old man countered the discussion admirably, remaining his ground. The swearing continues about which sport techniques Baton most often uses in his fights. Robin suggests first listening to the opinion of the hero himself before starting a feud. Both, sucking up, turn to the confused boy with the question of what he will choose after all. He believes that if the country needs him, then he agrees to compete in the national team. However, there is one thing. Both coaches are interested and ask him to quickly put forward his demands in their direction. Baton suggests not to quarrel with each other and puts forward the idea of choosing two sports at the same time. The coaches are shocked by this proposal. They did not consider this option. They think that many cannot succeed even in one, and he wants to choose both types. But in principle, this is acceptable because he already has a mixed technique. The seventh brother is surprised by this, because before he refused any proposals from MMA, but now he agreed so easily. But Baton's priority is only to complete one of the tasks of the system. In fact, you can choose two types, but leaders Hu and Xiao also have their own, but they are afraid that they will lose all their efforts and want him to have a priority sport. The coaches began to bombard him with many questions about the schedule, the contract, and time. The seventh brother comes up with an idea that might help solve this problem. He says that he needs to be accepted into both types and registered through the martial arts center. There is no need to worry about training because he trains on his own, and the present strength was achieved by Baton alone. He says what the guy wanted to say. It's as if his brother took the words off his tongue. This proposal will not only help solve the problems, but will also show that they care about individual athletes. If everyone agrees, Robin offers to go and apply, assuring that he will convince Baton to participate in the National League. The coaches don't understand what the catch is, because Baton's position was very firm, but he succumbed so easily to persuasion. They agreed with the guy and began to leave, saying that now they needed to discuss something in private. When the men left, Baton asked if Robin wanted to tell him something in private. Seventh brother began to talk about how, when he was the first fighter on the national judo team, Xiao Yunlin was his coach. He knows all the local rules, and the student will sign everything that is handed to him, and then he will regret it. Although the streamer is indifferent to money, the distribution of income from representation and advertising always entails bickering. In addition, The guy did not initially grow up in an atmosphere of resource consumption. He is free and does not have to jump into this swamp. Of course, the national hero will always and everywhere come first. Robin recommended participating in competitions, getting well-deserved fame. And besides, what should belong to the guy will be his. The main character was interested in whether the national team would agree to such conditions. The brother replied that both sports were not in the best position in America in wrestling. They were able to receive only 2 gold medals during the entire Olympics. Judoists are doing a little better, but this is all a matter of the last decade. In addition, those gold medals were brought by women, while men did not receive a single medal in both sports. Batten's appearance signifies the possibility that the men will finally bring home gold medals, which is especially important for men's wrestling. So the student should not underestimate himself. He should just sit quietly and wait for news, because they will tear their ass just to get it. The streamer said that he understood everything and thanked Kathleen's 7th brother. And to his question about why his brother was looking for him, Robin replied that he was sent to ask Batten if he wanted to enter into an agreement with the UFC. Also, the guy should wait with his career, since he is going to compete for his homeland, although he himself is not particularly interested in any fights. Next, the main character asked about the fact that Robin terminated his contract with OFC and will now fight for the UFC. He confirmed this and added that he had 2 fights left in the OFC. He completed them and moved to the UFC. Suddenly, the man showed on his phone that the Japanese Martial Arts Association wrote to Batten on Twitter. Looking at the screen, the guy saw that the Japanese Martial Arts Association was inviting him to cooperate. He said that he was originally going to go there, but only wanted to visit individual dojos. But he admits that after such an invitation, he cannot refuse to travel throughout the country. The 7th brother shares his opinion that the Japanese have always admired strong people, and their admiration for Batten is not surprising. Batten admits that it is this feature of the Japanese that fascinates him, but at the same time scares him. When they like you, they almost revere you, and when they fight with you, they hit you like crazy. The 7th brother gets up and pats the loaf on the shoulder soothingly, inviting him to go and spar a little. The streamer laughs it off, remembering how he gave the 7th brother a thrashing. In the doorway, Robin declares that she won't let him do it this time. The main character replies that there are still a bunch of masochists outside, thanks to whom he can farm experience. During a sparring with the 7th brother, the system counted points for Batten towards the task, hitting 1,000. In the evening, Noodles called the main character and asked why he didn't come to them. The guy replied that he was going home now and invited them to his place to eat together. The friend replied that they were currently in the workshop, and the streamer told them to order food, and when he arrived, he would pay. 15 minutes later, the main character came to the apartment, where friends and hot food were waiting for him. He was quick to point out that his brothers didn't treat him any differently, despite his recent celebrity status. The guys noted that they ordered more beef skewers, which Batten loves so much. All the students were happy, and the streamer said that he had not eaten barbecue for 100 years. Suddenly, the silhouette of a woman appeared behind them and asked if they had finished all the work. When she came a little closer, the guys realized that it was their teacher, Julia. Batten told her that his friends were so tired, so he thought it would be nice to treat them to food. The girl began to attack the main character, saying that he missed several classes and did not answer calls. Noodles stood up for him and asked the teacher not to spoil their mood, since their friend returned to his homeland in health. Julia was very angry because they dared to say that she was ruining their mood, but then she changed abruptly and said that such an event should be celebrated and offered beer. The main character said that the teacher played a cool prank on them, and said that he would now show them his skills. The guy masterfully opened all the bottles in different spectacular ways. Everyone was in awe of his skills and said that their friend was pretty damn cool. Before drinking, Noodles wanted to say a few words from all his friends in honor of Batten. He said that his friends are proud of him, and that he is a hero. But the student's health will always be important to them. And Noodles also asked if his friend would give him a couple of his manuscripts, since he was becoming more and more famous, and Noodles would definitely be able to sell them later for a high price. The main character, of course, was not prepared for this scenario, but said to wait for it. Soon he returned and said that in addition to the manuscripts, he also had socks with his personal scent. After this, the dove objected to why they drink one bottle for half a day and offered to drink it to the bottom. Suddenly, Batten's phone received a call, and he said that he would answer it quickly. The interlocutor suggested that he publish the comic as a separate tankobon since 3 million people had already added it to their favorites. He was asked to submit the drafts, and when the 10th chapter was published, the tankobon would be released. As soon as the streamer returned to the room with the feast, his phone rang again. This time, it was the sister whom other people called and offered Batten to become the face and sales representative of the brands. According to her, the company will pay at least $1 million, but the main character did not understand why his value had increased so much. If you think like that, then too much will fall on the main character. He will need to publish 2 comics, work in voice acting, and take part in wrestling and judo training. The sister began to say that they could involve the guy in show business, and this would not lead to the life he wanted for himself. Therefore, Baton made a decision and asked his sister to help him refuse them all. He thought that by giving up something, he could get even more. Julia said that the phone in their workshop was also ringing off the hook, and the student responded to tell them all to refuse on his behalf. At that moment, his phone rang again, and the guy promised that this was the last call for today. He received a call from Steve, who said that the organizers of the Premier Basketball League could not reach Baton by phone, and asked if he would participate in the final. The final is scheduled to take place on the 25th of this month in Shanghai, not far from them. The main character realized that this was not just a holiday, it was also his birthday, which he should spend next to Kathleen. But if the guy becomes the winner of the Premier Basketball League, he will have a second championship title. Therefore, he had to choose between the championship title and his beloved girl. He can get fame in any case, but a decisive moment has come in his relationship with Kathleen. Baton told Steve to tell the organizers that he couldn't say for sure because it all depends on the circumstances. After this conversation, the streamer turned off his phone and asked what his friends give girls for Christmas. Julia was the first to answer and apologized, saying that she didn't have a girlfriend yet. Dove will give the girl his beautiful body, and Noodles wants to give his huge smile. This answer did not suit the main character, and his green-haired friend said that he would give him a set of luxury cosmetics. The teacher said that Kathleen is an unusual girl. This should be a gift from the heart. The girl offered to give her eyeshadow, highlighter, blush, and all this from the luxury segment. While walking, Baton asked how his girlfriend was going to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas, and she replied that she did not celebrate them. But this year, Kathleen has someone to celebrate her birthday with. In response to this, the streamer laughed sweetly and asked if she knew that it was his birthday on the same day. The girl got angry and asked if Baton knew when her birthday was. He asked Kathleen to say this date, and he would remember it for the rest of his life, but she told him to guess for himself. According to him, even if his beloved does not write or say, he will still find out about it. Meanwhile, the main character asked that the girl had prepared someone for this. She abruptly turned away from him and immediately declared that she had already changed her mind. This behavior shocked Baton. He noted that women are changeable like the weather as soon as anything happens. Suddenly, Kathleen turned back and threw a knitted scarf over him, kissing him on the lips. While the guy was in a state of confusion, she stated that she had knitted this scarf especially for him. When Kathleen walked away in the opposite direction from him, the streamer only felt spring. Suddenly, Baton's fans came out of the windows and said that they had just seen the fake Iron God. One of them said that she would now call her boyfriend and he would ask them. The guy told them that there was no point in staring, as if they had never seen lovers. On December 23rd, he received a call with the news that Baton had now been accepted into the national team. Half an hour later, the guy was already at the sports academy where Coach Wilson met him. It was clear from his eyes that he understood that a gold medal had come to them. The man greeted him and said that he was the director of a sports academy, and next to him were wrestling and judo coaches. It seemed to the main character that he was standing next to the same Howard, who in his youth became an Olympic champion twice. The streamer said that he saw the video of the director's competition, and working with him is a great honor for the guy. One of the coaches said that there was no need to stand at the entrance, since they still needed to evaluate the athlete. According to the results of the test, the student was embarrassed because his weight was less than 200 kilograms. The last time he thought that he was exercising too hard and therefore had lost control of his eating. The coach said that the result was not very good because according to the rules in both judo and wrestling, Baton would fight heavyweights. Next, the man suggested completing the checks and then discussing everything. The men were amazed at the strength and tremendous speed of their new athlete's hands. Wilson also looked at them and asked if Baton had lifted a barbell before, to which he received a negative answer. The old man brought him to the gym and told him to demonstrate how the main character bench presses 200 kilograms. Of course, the technique was not ideal, but the student benches 200 only by focusing on physical strength. Wilson then asked if Baton could raise 250, to which he agreed. After a successful attempt, the trainer ordered the weight to be raised to 300 kilograms. As soon as he recommended the streamer not to strain himself, the system gave him a task where he needed to lift a total of 10,000 tons of weight. There was also a note that lifting weights less than your own body weight is not taken into account. This addition probably means that lifting people up will not count. There is also a technological rod in a special store that costs 1,000 points. The user can adjust its weight, and it also increases its weight using body weight. The guy thought about this while holding a barbell, and decided that he would buy a technological barbell at home, because those around him would not understand his sudden immersion in himself. Then Wilson asked Baton to take the tests again. Obviously, he was up to something. The guy replied that if the coach wants him to do weightlifting, then he has never trained for this and does not understand the techniques and poses of this sport. The old man just wants to know the student's potential, and if he is truly capable, it would be best to train in that area too. The main character smiled sweetly back at him and mentally noted that since he started this business, he needs to bring it to the end. In the gym, the trainer will show him the lifting technique on a training barbell with light discs. He says that you should not try to complete this action at once, but rather do everything gradually. Seeing how the streamer easily lifted a barbell weighing 100 kilograms, Wilson realized that he had underestimated his strength. The coach decided to raise the weight of Batten's barbell to 200 kilograms, and he lifted it too. This guy just lifted 200 kilos with zero training, and if you give him technique and posture, then he has a good chance of competing for a medal. While Wilson was thinking about this, the student was still holding the heavy barbell above his head and asked if it could be lowered. After the training, the old man suggested submitting an application to accept the protagonist into the national weightlifting team. He agreed, because he would still have to complete the tasks of lifting the weight, but the main thing was that there were no problems with the schedules. Wilson assured that he would bring good news, and they agreed to meet in a maximum of 5 days. Robin and another trainer told Batten that they needed to talk about his current weight. The man with blue hair said that the guy has a problem with his weight, and compared to the heavyweights, it will be very difficult for him, so he wanted to ask if he would be more comfortable with. The seventh brother said that it would be better to gain weight, since in a short period of time, he would need to lose about 10 kilograms, which is dangerous for training. The streamer didn't like this option at all, because he already had a hard time losing weight. He understood what the coaches were thinking and told them not to worry because he would show them everything in practice. When Batten finally got home, he was happy because now he could finally buy a technological barbell. Taking it in his hand, the guy realized that at the same time it was so small but very heavy. According to his calculations, everything was correct, and if you multiply his weight by 0.1, you get 10.8 kilograms. Then the main character said not to change the weight of the barbell, but to change its size, which is why it grew rapidly. This rod was magical, so it could grow to the very ceiling of his house. While testing the purchase, he did not notice that Kathleen was at home, so she saw this huge barbell. So the guy ordered the dumbbell to become small so that it would fit into his fist. The girl said that she just thought she saw a huge barbell, and then there was a flash of light and everything disappeared. Batten replied that most likely Kathleen was tired and offered to cook her something to eat. She probably just heard that her boyfriend was going to do weightlifting, so she imagined all sorts of things. Kathleen asked how the main character would manage everything since he would have to do judo, wrestling, weightlifting, and draw a comic book. He replied that we just need to complete the schedule and increase efficiency. The girl wanted to mention walking together, but Batten said that there was no need to worry, because he would find time to meet with her. After that, she said that tomorrow she was going to Shanghai to help the teacher find a place for the exhibition, so she invited the guy to go together. The main character immediately realized that Kathleen remembered his schedule and wanted to go with him to make it easier for him. She also added that she wanted to introduce him to her mother on the way. On the morning of December 24th, a young couple arrived at the Shanghai train station. Batten and Kathleen unexpectedly meet their seventh brother. He says that he returned yesterday, and they need to come home as soon as possible, since their mother is waiting for them. On the way, the student says that he needs to buy a gift for their mother. Robin gets annoyed and makes a sarcastic joke about how she needs to buy a yacht. 10 minutes later, they finally reached home and their mother happily greeted them. Seeing that Batten brought gifts, she says that she shouldn't have done this. And then she scolds her brother for usually coming empty-handed. The main character came up with the idea that for every force there is always an opposing force. After scolding her son, the mother becomes kind again and invites everyone to sit down at the table. Sitting at the table, the woman says that Robin told him that a student should not have any junk food, so she prepared lunch from selected ingredients.